In this video, we'll go over how to use the Zoom app on your iPad. Let's start by opening up the Zoom app. If you are already logged into Zoom, this is the home screen that you should see when you start the Zoom app. It looks a little different than the desktop. On the top left corner, you should see your AUHSD account email photo. To check which specific account you're logged into Zoom on your iPad, click on the settings gear on the bottom left. You will see your account listed at the very top. To change an account that are using in Zoom, click on the account itself and then scroll to the very bottom to click sign out and then sign in using the correct credentials. Most often, we'll use the Zoom app on the iPad to either join or start a new meeting. To see a list of all your meetings that are already scheduled, click on the meetings icon on the left side. Here, you should see all the meetings that you have scheduled in Zoom. To start a meeting, click on the Start button to the right side of that meeting. I'm going to start the iPad demo meeting that I have scheduled. If asked, click Call using Internet Audio for your audio on the iPad. Here, because there's no one else in this meeting, the only person who shows up on the list of participants is myself. In this screen, by clicking on the participants icon on the top, if I click on my name, I can mute or rename myself. This might come in handy if you're using multiple devices at the same time. Let's say you're logged into your iPad and your computer for the same meeting. Renaming those devices might be very helpful. So to rename this iPad, I'm going to click on the rename option, and then I'm going to change the name for this device and just call it iPad. So now it just shows as iPad. So on the screen, when I have multiple participants, it will show my name on the bottom left corner just as iPad. The mute and turn camera on and off buttons are at the top. On the top left corner of the screen, you'll see a button to switch the camera. This, on your iPad, turns the camera around to capture video from the front-facing camera or the rear-facing camera. If there are multiple people signed in, you will see an icon right below the camera to switch between tile view or grid view. Grid view is where you see all the participants in their little squares. On the top left is the button to end this meeting. If you are logged into this iPad as the second participant for the same meeting, that end meeting button will change to leave meeting. And finally, we're going to look at the options on the top right by clicking on the More button. This is where you will see more options for your iPad, including the button where chat can be shown. Now, participants list and the chat list looks very different on the iPad than it does on the desktop. You'll notice that the chat is a pop-up and it covers up my Zoom view and it doesn't dock itself to the right or to the left. To see the credentials for your Zoom meeting, you can always click on the little arrow next to the Zoom button at the very top. And here you can see the title and the join link or the invite link for this meeting. That, in a nutshell, is a quick introduction to the Zoom app on your iPad. Hope that was helpful.